we are going to discuss to you the measure of position for the group data. But before we start, here are some reminders in our video lessons. Stay alert and focus on video lessons. Second, prepare your pen and paper and other material we use, particularly the calculator. And third, sit back and relax. But before we proceed in our actual lessons, let's review first the previous lessons that we discussed. The illustrating measure of position for the ungroup data, particularly the quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. The quartile for ungroup data. The quartiles are score points which divide a distribution into 4 equal parts. The first part of the quartile is the quartile 1, which in the 25% of the data are called the lower quartile. The quartile 2 is in the 50% of data are called the median. And the last quartile is the quartile 3, which is in the 75% of data are called the upper quartile. Deciles for ungroup data. The decile are the 9 score points which divide a distribution into 10 equal parts. And the last is the percentile for the ungroup data. The percentile are the 99 score points which divide a distribution into 100 equal parts so that each part represents data sets. Let's have some fun for our motivations. We are going to group the classes into 4 groups. This game is what we call the 4 picks 1 word. The mechanics are easy. Just use the scrambled letter to have the right answer. The group who will get the score, the correct answer will be given 1 point. The group that has the higher points will get a prize to Mr. Jason Garang. Okay, what do you see in our first picture? Very good, it is sweet. Next. Very good, it is a person who draw. Next. Yes, very good, it is circle. Next, what kind of things is in pictures? Very good, it is heart. Next, very good, a person tips or tip. Let us proceed to our lesson proper. The measure of position for the group data. Measure of position. The measure of position is a method by which the position that a particular data has value within a given data set is going to be identified. There are 2 useful forms of data, the ungrouped data and the grouped data. In our previous week, we are going to discuss the ungrouped data, which is a raw data, meaning they have just been collected but not sorted into a group or classes. Now, we are going to discuss the group data, a data that have been organized into groups from the raw data or in the ungrouped data so that a frequency distribution of the groups serves as a convenient means of summarizing or analyzing the data. Formulas in finding the measure of position for the group data. The quartile for the group data. The quartile are the score points which divide a distribution into 4 equal parts. It is just the same in the previous weeks that we have discussed in the ungrouped data, but the formulas that we are going to use are different in it. First, the formula that we are going to use today is the Q or quartile sub K is equal to lower boundary or LB plus K and over 4 minus commutative frequency or CF sub B over frequency quartile sub K multiplied by I, where LB is equal to lower boundaries of the QK class and is equal for the total frequency. CF sub B is equal for commutative frequency of the class before the QK class or the quartile K class. FQK is for the frequency of the quartile K class. I is equal for the size of the interval, class interval, and k is equal to the n quartile, where n is equal to 1, 2, and 3. Let us try some examples. Calculate the Q1 of the mathematics score of 50 students. In the score, there are 46 to 50, 41 to 45, 36 to 40, 31 to 35, 26 to 30, and 21 to 25. While in the frequency, there are 4, 8, 11, 9, 12, and 6. We have 5 steps on solving this example. But first, we are going to determine the lower boundary. To solve the lower boundary, we are going to subtract 0.5 to the smallest number per class interval. For example, the 21 is the smallest number per class interval. We are going to subtract it into 0.5, and we are going to get the 20.5. Same as the 26, we are going to subtract it to 0.5 to get the 25.5, and in the higher but smallest number to 46, subtract by 0.5 to get the 45.5. Step 2. Determine the cumulative frequency. To get a cumulative frequency, we are going to add the less than cumulative frequency into its frequency. For example, 6 plus 12 is equal to 18. 18 plus 9 is equal to 27. 27 plus 11 is equal to 38. 38 plus 8 is equal to 46, and 46 plus 4 is equal to 50. We are going to copy it from the frequency like that. 46 plus 4 to 50, 38 plus 8 to 46, 27 plus 11 to 38, 18 plus 9 to 27, and 6 plus 12 to 18. Step 3. Calculate the Q1. Given n is equal to 50 and k is equal to 1. Q1 is equal to, the formula that we are going to use to get the Q1 is kn over 4. K is equal to 1 and n is equal to 50. 1 quantity 50 over 4 is equal to 50 over 4 is equal to 12.5. This means that we need to find the class interval where 12.5 score is contained. Step 4. We are going to locate the class interval where the Q1 class is contained. In the frequency, we are going to see that it is in the 12 or in 20 or in the class interval score of 26 to 30, wherein 12, 25.5, and 18 are belong. Step 5. Solve Q1 using the formula. The formula that we are going to use is that Qk is equal to LB plus Kn over 4 minus Cf sub t over Fq sub k multiplied by n. Qk is equal to 25.5 plus 1 multiplied by 50 over 4 minus 6 over 12 multiplied by 5. Qk is equal to 25.5 plus 12.5 minus 6 over 12 or multiply through I. In the 25.5 plus 0.542 multiply by 5 and 25.5 plus 2.71 is equal to 28.21. So that means our Q1 is the 28.21.
Formulas in finding measures of position for group data. Deciles for group data. The deciles are those values that divide the total frequency into 10 equal parts. The nth decile, denoted by d sub k, computed as follows. d sub k is equals to LB, multiply the quantity of kn over 10 minus CFB over FDK multiplied by I, where LB is equals to lower boundary of the decay, where n is the total frequency, CFB is the cumulative frequency of the class before the D sub k class. FQK is equals to frequency of the D sub k class. F is the size of the interval, and K or the nth decile where n is equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Example, calculate the 6th decile or the D6 after the computation. Here are the data that we are gathered. It shows that FD6 is equals to 11, LB is equals to 35.5, and CFB is equals to 38. Given D6 class with N is equals to 50 and K is equals to 6, D6 class is equals to 6, N over 10 is equals to 6 multiplied by 50 over 10 is equals to 300 over 10 is equals to 30. This means we need to find the class interval of 30 scores is contained formula dk is equals to 35.5 plus the quantity of 6 times 50 over 10 minus 27 over 11 multiplied by 5, and the total is 35.5 plus 0.27 times 5 is equals to 35.5 plus 1.35 equals to 36.85. Therefore, 60% of the students sub-score less than or equal to 36.85. Percentile for group data. The percentile of group data is used to characterize the values according to the percentage below them. The nth percentile, denoted by PK, is computed as follows. PK is equals to LB plus the quantity of Kn over 100 minus CFB over FPK multiplied by I. Example, calculate the 90th percentile for the P90 of the mathematics course of 50 students, given the data. After the computation, we found out that FP90 is equals to 8, LB is equals to 40.5, and CFB is equals to 46. Calculate the P90 class with N is equals to 50 and K is equals to 10. P90 class is equals to 90 multiplied by 50 multiplied by 100 is equals to 4,500 over 100 is equals to 45. This means we need to find the class interval of 45th score in contained formula. Therefore, PK is equals to 40.5 plus the quantity of 90 multiplied by 50 over 100 minus 38 over 8 multiplied by 5 is equals to 40.5 plus 0.875 multiplied by 5 is equals to 40.5 plus 4.375 is equals to 44.875. Therefore, 90% of the students have a score less than equal to 44.875.
So now, let's proceed to the group activity. So, your section will group into 4. The table was already given, and you should answer the following. First, calculate the 4th, 7th, and the 9th deciles from the frequency distribution of weight of 170 students as provided in the table.
So now, let's answer the activity. First, the 4th deciles. The formula in the 4th deciles is the class boundary plus weight over frequency times 4 times n over 10 minus cumulative frequency. So, the class boundaries is equals to 139.5 plus 10 over 25 times 48 minus 22 is equals to 148.79 pounds. Next is the 7th decile. 159.5 plus 10 over 18 times 84 minus 75 is equals to 164.5 pounds. And lastly, the 9th deciles. 179.5 plus 68 over 6 times 108 minus 106 is equals to 182.83 pounds. So, the conclusion is 40% of students weigh 148.79 pounds, 70% students weigh 164.5 pounds, and 90% students weigh 182.83 pounds. So class, let's move to the application. Complete the table below by filling in the values of lower boundaries and less than cumulative frequency. Class interval represents the allowance. The frequency represents the number of students. The class interval is equals to 81 to 90, 71 to 80, 61 to 70, 51 to 60, 41 to 50, 31 to 40, 21 to 30, and 11 to 20. Next is the frequency. 1, 2, 4, 11, 10, 13, 15, and 4. So, let's start to fill the lower boundaries. To solve the lower boundaries, we should subtract 0.50 to the smallest class interval. The answers are 80.5, 70.5, 60.5, 50.5, 40.5, 30.5, 20.5, and 10.5. Very good, class. So now, let's proceed to the less than cumulative frequency. To solve the less than cumulative frequency is the total number of frequency less than to its frequency. So the answer is, or R, is equals to 60 minus 1 is equals to 59 minus 2 is equals to 57 minus 4 is equals to 53 minus 11 is equals to 42 minus 10 is equals to 32 minus 13 is equals to 19 minus 15 is equals to 4. Very good, class. Good job. So, class, let's proceed to another activities, which is a grade 10 student conducted a survey in the section to determine the daily allowance of his performance. The data gathered from 40 classmates' daily allowance in pesos are shown below. So, here are the instructions. First, organize the data into cumulative frequency distribution with class interval of 5 as shown in the table below. Write your answer in a short bond paper. Second, complete the table below by answering the data under class interval or daily allowance. Frequency or number of students, lower boundaries, and less than cumulative frequency. And last, calculate the approximate value of the following measures of position using the group data. So, letter A is quartile. Select only one from quartile 1, quartile 2, and quartile 3. B, decile. Select only one from decile 1 to decile 9. Then, percentile. Select only one from P sub 1 or percentile 1 to percentile 99. First, you should fill the blanks in the table. The class interval or represents the daily allowance, frequency that represents the number of students, lower boundaries or LB, less than cumulative frequency.
So for your assignment, to be passed next meeting, you are going to calculate the approximate values of a specified measure of position. Write your answer in your activity notebook and you are going to show your solution. It is all about the grade of 40 student in mathematics, which is the grade frequency and lower boundaries, and cumulative frequency are already given. You are just going to calculate the quartile 2. These are decile 7 and the percentile 20. That's all for today. Thank you for cooperation.